everyone, Dr. Alibhai here. I'm going to teach you a hip mobility routine. It's a warm-up routine for your hips to, one, get you out of pain, but prime your body for the day so you don't get in a vulnerable state and you can actually perform at whatever task that you're doing, whether it's a sport or just showing up at work. So our hips obviously get really tight. The hip rotates in many different planes, and we're going to start by getting into an actual quadruped position like this, and you're going to bring, let's start with your right leg going backwards and your left leg forward. Now this may be hard for you to do, and if that's the case, you can drop your knee to the ground. If you got any knee difficulties, you can put like a towel there just to support it, or a pad. I'm going to go up on my toes here, and we've got one leg at maximum flexion and the other leg at extension. I'm going to keep my glute on the leg that's straight, completely contracted. I'm going to make sure my whole foot is in contact with the ground here. Now, if you're finding this uncomfortable, you can move your foot back or get it into a better position outwards a little bit more. What I want you to do is to maintain a proper shape and a straight back as much as possible. So push your hands into the ground to keep you nice and upright. While keeping your right glute contracted, you're going to take a deep breath in, breathe out, and let your right hip drop towards the ground. Breathe in again, keep the glute contracted, breathe out, and let your right hip drop towards the ground. You can see as my body's sinking down in, I'm getting a stretch in here, and I'm also feeling this area open up through here. We're going to take another deep breath in again, breathe out, and I'm dropping in. Okay, good. Try and keep the neck relaxed, okay? And then the next thing that we're going to do is, like, if you need to stay on that knee, that's totally fine too. Is we're going to actually scooch the left foot inwards, and we're going to rotate it, and we're winding up the hip through here. And as I bring this close to midline right there, find a good spot right there, okay? So I'm on the outside of my foot, and I go back up. Now you may just stay here. You may live here, that's fine. You actually just want to feel a stretch right through here. I'm going to go up on my toes on the right side. I'm going to take a deep breath in again, breathe out, and let my hip drop towards the ground. Now, it's going to feel uncomfortable. Just make sure that you're able to take some full deep breaths. And you can challenge this range, or maybe what I like to do is just look over this shoulder, feel, okay, that feels a little tight when I add some rotation in through there. I'm going to hang out there, take some nice deep breaths, may even get down into this position here. Oh, that's tight, but I can do it. I'm going to take some deep breaths, breathe out, and sink in even further. Okay, if you find that too aggressive, you can go back on your hands, okay? And so you're just kind of hanging out here and playing with different ranges that feel tight. Okay, there's another spot. I'm going to take a deep breath in, breathe out. Good. Okay, so now what we're going to do is add a new exercise in here where you're up on your knee, on the right knee, and you're going to straighten out your left leg. Keep your back as straight as possible. Now, I've had a history of having a herniated disc in my back. I know what it feels like to have some leg pain, but we want to add some length in through the hamstring. If you need to support yourself on a wall or a stick, whatever it is, you can do that. But all we're going to do is just straighten out the left leg and bring the toes up towards the nose. Now, you can just straighten out the leg. If that's enough for you, you can do that, and that's fine. As long as you're not getting any sharp shooting pain, it's just tightness that you're releasing. Trying to keep my back as straight as possible. I'm going to add the toe back, okay? Bring my toe up towards the ceiling, towards my nose. Good. And keeping my back straight. Now, if this is too easy for you, you can bring your arms down towards them. I find that really tight for me, so I'm going to keep my back straight instead of reaching down. But if you're able to support your hands on the ground, then go for it. And then bring the toes towards the nose. What I'm going to do now is just tuck the chin. Tensioning the nervous system, the sciatic nerve, but also the nerves all the way up through the spine to slide and glide as I drop my head down. You'll feel even more of a stretch. Don't make it more than a 4 or 5 out of 10. And we're going to do that just really 10 times, back and forth, and you'll notice that you'll get some more length in through there. So next thing we're going to do is just switch sides. We're going to bring the right leg on top through there, okay? So foot nice and full contact with the ground. You're going to keep this shape, keep the back as straight as possible as you can. I'm going to bring my leg out a little bit more, hands underneath the shoulders, hands planted in towards the ground. This may even be a workout in itself, and that's great. You're going to contract your left glute through here, and let your hip drop towards the ground. Good. Take a deep breath in. Breathe out. So imagine we're like in a running man sprinting position, but we're on the ground. So we're preparing our hips to be able to get into the positions that we want to for the day without aggravating anything in our lower back, okay? Next thing we're gonna do is take another deep breath in. Breathe out, push the hip all the way to the ground. Good. Sink in through there, okay? And now again, if you needed to stay out here with your knee on the ground, use a pad or something there to support you, you can easily do that. You may even be up in this position here. Keep the glute contracted and turned on through there, and then drive the hip forward, okay? Keep the glute contracted, then drive the hip forward. And then progress to the point where you're in this position and then back up onto your toes. Now we're gonna scooch the right foot forward to midline, go on the outside of our foot, so we're winding the hip up here. We're gonna take a deep breath in. Breathe out. And this just gets me sweating right away. You see that it's really warming up the tissue, but also mobilizing the hips at the same time. So I can feel some tension as I drop my knee towards the ground. I'm gonna take another deep breath in. Breathe out. Try and maintain the shape nice and strong in the hands and into the lower back, nice and straight. Breathe in. Breathe out. Good. Okay, let's do the kick back with the foot going backwards. So left knee on the ground. Try and straighten out your right leg. Good. Gonna get a little more tension on that one. Bring the toes towards your nose. Good. Whew. And so what we're really doing is telling our nervous system, hey, it's okay to get into this range, and adding some length in there that we wouldn't normally get. Good. And then let's add the head in there. Now let's do it all together. And one last time. Okay, good work. Let me know how that goes. You'll notice a big difference. Even when you get up, you can get back into just a squat, right? And just feel how I can get into a deeper squat already, nice and low. Test this beforehand, even before and after the exercise. I know it's gonna make a big difference for you and get you prepared for the day. Have a great one. Bye now.